I forgot my combination. I know it's one of these here. I know it's one of these. Shit.
You sure it's not that one?
Which one?
What about, no, I think it was this one.
I'm Phil Gaimon. I was a pro cyclist for 10 years, racing all over the world. Now I'm retired, but I'm not done suffering on my bike, climbing mountains as fast as I can, and going on crazy adventures. I couldn't be the best at racing, and I'm definitely the worst at retiring. Welcome to Worst Retirement Ever.
Welcome to San Antonio. Of course, we had to start here at the Alamo. We've got Matt and Guillaume here from Expel. That's Expel owns Invisiframe. That's my title sponsor. We also have special guest star Michael Muni. If you remember Michael Muni, who's here now, he was literally my best man. Mike grew up in Texas. Tell us, do you remember the Alamo from history? I don't remember the Alamo from history. I think you're supposed to. That's all I remember is the slogan, remember the Alamo?
Well, yeah, you're just supposed to remember the Alamo.
Yeah, I remember it existed.
Well, most people don't remember because they were never told this, is that the grounds of the Alamo are a few different courtyards and a couple different buildings, but this iconic Alamo that we see right here,
Yep.
this is actually not called the Alamo, it's the Alamo Church.
So this is 1830s. This was Texas getting independence from Mexico, correct? That's the Battle of the Alamo?
Yes.
Okay.
A couple hundred years ago almost now.
And how did that go for them? We wanted to bring our bikes into the courtyard. You can't do that at the Alamo. We got sent around. So the Alamo is not bicycle friendly. We're going to ride around downtown and see what else is going on here, right?
Yeah, the new slogan is "Remember the Alamo isn't bicycle friendly."
Remember the Alamo isn't fond of men in tights.
From downtown, we snuck over to the River Walk, which is a nice kind of shopping, restaurants district. It says River Walk. You're not supposed to ride it. There weren't many people on there. It was a weekday morning. Nice little downtown thing. I wanted to see it. Then we checked out some historic homes downtown. Found a road with a decent bike lane, which led us to an actual bike path, which was lovely.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there.
San Antonio had a lot of bike paths. I wouldn't say they were connected as far as like a super useful network for commuting. Generally, they were pretty twisty. I would say more for the bike riding of families and kids and walking and strollers than the kind of riding that I do, but great to see it.
There he is. Hey, buddy. See him? All right, so the next stop, we need to do some lunch down here in San Antonio. And so I've got one French-Canadian, one Frenchman, one Dallas. So if we're going to eat like the correct Texas meal, are we talking Tex-Mex or barbecue?
Well, if you're asking the question in a bubble, which you're not,
This is
that's
a Lexus.
maybe a different answer. But
It's got Tex right in it, but it also has Mex right in it.
well,
You see?
that's what I was going to say. Is because the word Texas,
It's not
in it,
purely
you're
Texan.
going to defer to Texas, but it's a half.
Well,
And
you're
I got a Mexican wife. I could tell you that Tex-Mex is a wannabe Mexican.
That's what I'm
Thank
going to
you.
say. But,
Okay.
But again,
Okay, we're going barbecue. Guillaume, you cool with that?
Yep.
Do they have barbecue snails? We literally just typed barbecue into Google Maps and went to the nearest place, and it was amazing. Of course, San Antonio is the home of my title sponsor, Invisiframe, which is owned by Expel. So we're going to go in their office and see what they have going on. This is Ron. He's at work picking up every frame he can possibly find in every size and making a pattern for your bike. I have the universal kit on a couple of my bikes. One of them I installed myself, one I have my mechanic do it. But more and more, they're going to have custom kits for every frame out there. Once it's digitized, this printer makes all the cuts perfectly, so you can have a self-healing paint protection with no gaps on your bike. Expel's main business is doing this paint protection on cars, so there's always some cool stuff to check out in their office. You know? So Matt is retired. So what was your title at Expel?
I was a senior VP of sales and product.
You're recently retired as of like last fall,
Yes, sir.
and we're sitting in your retirement present, which is, I'm not a car guy. What is this?
This is a F8 Spider,
F8.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
I'm very careful here with the squirrels. There's a lot of squirrels.
Yeah.
And I like squirrels.
Squirrels are cute.
Yeah.
No cup holders. No cup holders at all.
Pay attention to the road and don't drink.
Okay, actually, I agree with that now. But it's Italian. There should be an espresso.
Yeah, the espresso machine.
Pull espresso
in the
machine
top
in here.
here.
Hang on. Damn it.
You can fill
Oh my God. How do you set the mirrors?
Right there.
There we go. Now I'm
Comfortable with the mirrors?
safe. No, I'm not comfortable with anything.
Is it the first time you're driving a Ferrari?
Of course it's the first time I'm driving a
I'm just asking questions here.
I like that I'm wearing $25 sunglasses.
But you don't need to buy one. You just need to have
That's
a friend
true.
like
Yeah,
Matt.
right?
And I could.
That's what they say about boats. You don't want a boat. You want a friend with a boat.
Or you want to rent a boat.
Yeah, okay. That's true. Yeah, that's different. Yeah, corner's a little better than my car, too.
Beautiful day in San Antonio.
Yeah, it sure is. How do you feel as a passenger?
I prefer being a driver.
I was going to say, do you trust me?
I trust you.
It's funny, like, if someone wants to borrow my bike, I'm usually like, nah. Like, I'd let you borrow my bike, but only now.
That I lent you my Ferrari.
Yeah, now I really don't have a choice. I'd let you borrow my bike. I'd let you borrow my cookie bike. Of course, like a lot of cyclists, I have kind of an anti-car brain most of the time. But pretty quick, that was just taken over here by a respect for the engineering and speed and design. This kind of thing is different. It's funny, I've always noticed riding around Malibu, the people in the really fancy cars, the real drivers, are always pretty courteous and cool to cyclists. And driving this, I understood why. We're kind of out in the canyons appreciating the same thing, just I have to pedal. I want to find a cyclist and cuss at him. I kind of like this too. There's no like TV computer screen here, you know, like you're supposed to be on the road. You're supposed to focus on the traffic you're in.
$500,000 car and the seats are manual.
That's like my dad's old Camry.
Yeah.
You guys, no. Come on. Now the reason that Invisiframe Expel had me out here is the ETAPE Texas event, which they sponsor. We hung out at the expo on Saturday, and then Sunday we lined up bright and early. Like terribly early. All right, it's race morning. It is 5 in the morning right now. Guillaume, what time did I wake up? You heard me wake up.
4:25.
4:25 in the morning. That is 2:25 to my body. This is the part where I complain, and now we can move on to the race. I do miss pro racing where it starts at noon. I still don't get out to train until 10 or 11. Anyway, the ETAPE series is put on by ASO, who owns the Tour de France. It's an amateur race series, but very much treated as a race with timing, official Tour de France jerseys, and prizes. I met Matt a couple years ago in Mexico. He'd finished 6th at this race in 2022 and trained his butt off to win it in 23. He had a team to help that year with me and Ron as domestiques, but honestly, he sealed the deal at the end and it was super impressive for a guy with almost no race experience. Now we were back as a team to help him defend. There was one blip in the plan, which is interstate closures around San Antonio. This was causing crazy detours in traffic, so they moved the finish to the final KOM at mile 90. It was the right decision for safety, but an uphill sprint is tactically complicated and not how we planned it at the team meeting.
Other guys are going to race themselves out of the race. There's going to be attrition. Matt stays on the wheels. Matt does no work ever.
The good news is we did know this climb. In fact, we'd ridden it the day before. The goal was for me and Ron to help Matt get the KOM as a warm-up for the race, but there was a terrible headwind and I fell apart, so we're not posting that one.
On that one, I really feel if there's still people with us, is where we could drop them.
The course is in Texas Hill Country, just outside of San Antonio, which means almost 5,000 feet of climbing in 100 miles, except with no actual climbs at all, just up and down these little rollers all day. Great riding out here, actually. I chose the new Factor Ostro VAM for this trip. It's hilly, so I was tempted to go with my O2 VAM, but Israel is racing the Ostro, and this is the only time this year I'll be racing in a big pack. Right at the beginning, there was a breakaway with a guy we were the most worried about, Spencer Jones, local Cat 1 racer, super cool dude. It was early, so we didn't panic. I got the team to ride the front and keep the break at a minute, thinking it'd be good to let Spencer get worn out a bit. Our team had 10 guys, but only a couple were real, racers, mostly just strong dudes who rip each other's legs off for fun on weekends. But I told them what to do, and they totally acted like Team Sky. Mark, Giggs, Tony, Michael, another guy named Michael, Scott, and a junior named Xavier, just ripping it on the front. At mile 65, we'd brought the breakaway back. Ron had crashed on a water bottle that flew into his front wheel, but other than that, we were all good, and Matt hadn't touched the wind. At this point, it was probably still a pack of 40, so here's my plan. I would attack, the other teams would panic and chase down the one former pro, the group would split up, but we'd still have good numbers, including Matt and my friend Stefan, who used to live in LA and just moved here, and nobody knew how fast he was. So that was my plan, but here's what happened. I attacked, One guy bridged up to me, his name was Freddie Cruz, and we were immediately out of sight. Now this puts me in a weird position because this is an amateur race. I'm very much not a pro, but I've done 1,000 races, so I'm not exactly an amateur either, and I'm not here to win this myself. But I'm also definitely not here to let someone else win a race that Invisiframe is sponsoring.
If you find yourself in a breakaway, if you find yourself like up the road in a split or whatever reason, just don't pull. Just sit on the back of it, and whatever they yell at you, you don't care. You don't want that brake to stay away. And the worst case is if they pull you the whole way to the finish and you have to win, then you gotta sprint them.
I told Freddie that I can't pull because I want us to get caught so my friend can win. I sat on his wheel and I waited for someone to catch us. And waited. And waited. Freddie was going fast as hell, and the other teams in the pack were just attacking and chasing each other down the rest of the day. I had a free ride for like an hour, we get to the finish, and I beat him up the hill. Not how I want to win the race, but that's how team racing works. But I bought his team some beers after, and we were all friends later. My man Stefan came third, and our junior Xavier won the KOM and his age group. So a good day for Invisiframe. We did the podium, I got an official Tour de France yellow jersey, very on brand for worst retirement ever, and then I got back to Matt's house at 3 o'clock, packed my bike, ate dinner, and landed back at LAX by midnight.
So I'm home now, trying to think of a way to end this video. There's a moment that kind of sticks in my mind from this trip where, I'm not gonna say where I was, but there was a guy I ran into on the bike who was making small talk, and he asked where I came in from. I said Los Angeles, and he seemed cool, but then he goes, Height, California. And I was like, well, okay, nice talking to you, buddy. I just walked away. And honestly, I'll say the same from folks from California who heard I was going to Texas. And that's really like the reason to travel. This is my 3rd time in San Antonio, met lots of great people. The cycling community is amazing. There's plenty of things to like and dislike about Texas and California. I know it's an election year, but let's not get mad at a state. Yeah, California sucks. Real quick, I want to thank Matt Moreau and Gabby and Guillaume and Natalia for letting me crash their house again. Crossroad Bike Shop, Mark Cerrone. I don't miss the part of bike racing where it's pull through, no, you pull through. No, my team director says this, and being grumpy in the parking lot. I retired from that mess, but I did miss the part where it's a team of great dudes collectively sacrificing for one goal. All the great folks from Expel, the nice people I met at the event, and whoever else I'm missing because I'm jet lagged and tired. Have a good one. See you next time.